Oh, honey, y'all better settle in because we're about to spill some real tea on Kelly Rowland. You know her from Destiny's Child, dominating the stage like a queen, and even shining in her solo career. But don't let all that glitz and glam fool you, baby. Kelly's life? Oh, it's been a whirlwind of drama, secrets, and some downright jaw-dropping moments. We're talking headlines that'll have you gasping, family drama that'll make you give the ultimate side-eye, and juicy details that sound straight out of a reality show. Trust me, being an icon ain't just about Grammys and red carpets. There's a whole lot of chaos behind the scenes. So buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into Kelly Rowland's world. And honey, it's even more intriguing than you ever imagined. Let's rewind back to the very beginning. Because Kelly's story? Oh, it's something else. Born as Calendria Trinate Rowland on February 11th, 1981. In Atlanta, Georgia, her early years weren't exactly a fairy tale. You might think it was all smooth sailing, but trust me, it was anything but. Her mother, Doris, was out here living life, raising Kelly with the help of a nanny. And as for her father, Christopher Lovett, let's just say he was barely even in the picture. Growing up, Kelly experienced the struggle firsthand, with her dad drifting in and out of her life. Now hold on, because this is where things take a serious turn. It wasn't all sunshine and roses at home. There were some dark times too. Domestic abuse had Doris making a tough call, packing up her life and taking Kelly with her, leaving behind a toxic marriage. They set off for Houston, Texas, hoping for a fresh start. But wait, here's where it gets even juicier. Once they touched down in Texas, Kelly's world completely flipped. By the time she was just 7 years old, Doris made a bold decision. She let Kelly move in with none other than the Knowles family. Yes, that Knowles family. Beyoncé's parents, Matthew and Tina. And baby, this wasn't just some casual arrangement. They legally became Kelly's guardians. From that point on, Kelly and Beyoncé were growing up like real sisters. And together? Oh, they were unstoppable, making serious magic happen from day one. They formed a group called Girls Time and were out here hustling together. But don't get it twisted. Success didn't just land in their laps. They had to grind hard for that spotlight. Baby, let's talk about setbacks. They went on Star Search and lost. Right there, in front of a national audience. Oof. But did that stop them? Oh no, honey. One rejection wasn't about to break them. They kept pushing, performing anywhere and everywhere they could, staying locked in on that dream. By the time Kelly was around 5 or 6, she was already up in church, hitting solos like a seasoned pro. It was actually her choir instructor who first spotted that raw talent, and Kelly clung to that encouragement like it was gold. You know how it is. Sometimes, all it takes is one person recognizing your potential to give you that extra push. Fast forward a few years, and by the time she was 10, Kelly was already part of the group that would go on to shake up the entire industry. Destiny's Child, baby. But let's be clear, it wasn't an easy ride. Locking in that record deal? Oh, it was a struggle. Rejection after rejection came their way. But finally, in 1997, Columbia Records took a chance on them. And little did they know, their whole world was about to flip upside down. Destiny's Child didn't just step onto the scene in the late 90s. They completely took over. When No Part 2 dropped in 1998, oh baby, the competition didn't stand a chance. They had the industry in a chokehold. Girl, to this day, Kelly still gets chills remembering the first time they heard their song on the radio. Imagine this, the girls, packed in a car, driving through Houston, on their way to pick up Solange. And then, boom, No starts playing. Honey, chaos broke out, screaming, laughing, probably driving that poor driver insane. Destiny's Child wasn't just another girl group, baby. Oh no, they were a full-on movement. Grannies bumping their music? Check. Tens of millions of records sold? Double check. Fans losing their minds? Triple check. Kelly, Beyoncé, and Michelle. They became the blueprint for success. And let's not forget, by the time Kelly was just 18, She was already sitting pretty, stacking that paper as a millionaire. But trust, behind all that glitz and glam, there was some serious drama brewing. Of course, there was drama. The group went through major shakeups, with members coming and going like a never-ending revolving door. And while all of this was unfolding, the rumor mill was running wild about Matthew Knowles' ruthless management style. Whispers of favoritism, power struggles, and all kinds of behind-the-scenes chaos had the tabloids eating it up. But despite all the turbulence, Destiny's Child held it together just long enough to give their fans the perfect farewell. Their swan song? Destiny fulfilled in 2004. But wait a minute, Kelly still had one last mic drop moment up her sleeve. During a concert in Barcelona, she made it official. Destiny's Child was done. And the fans? Oh, they were shook. The girls reassured everyone there was no bad blood, that they were going their separate ways on a high note. But whether people actually believed that? Well, that's a whole other tea. When Destiny's Child called it quits, Kelly Rowland was out here nervous about stepping into the spotlight alone. And can you blame her? She'd been the quiet powerhouse in one of the most iconic girl groups of all time. And now she had to carry all that weight on her own. Whew. No, it was, nervous, scary, all the anxiety, all the what are they gonna think questions. One voice instead of two, instead of three. All these thoughts racing, and yeah, it kinda drives you a little mad at first until you finally wrap your head around it. Who helped you push past that fear? Or what gave you the strength to face it? I mean, I can only imagine. But really, you don't have a choice, do you? Because it's happening. This is coming. It's happening. No matter what, I had to keep up with this moving train. And that's exactly how it went down. In 2002, Kelly came through with her debut album, Simply Deep. And let's just say, the world was not ready for the heat she was about to serve. And don't even get me started on her collab with Nelly Dilemma. That song had everybody in their feelings. Nelly, what I do, all I think about is you. And the album? Oh, it did its thing. But this wasn't just about the music. It was about Kelly stepping into her power, finding her confidence, and truly embracing the queen she was always meant to be. But honey, behind the scenes, things were far from smooth sailing. In 2009, Kelly made a bold move that had everyone talking. She cut ties with Matthew Knowles as her manager. Yep, Beyoncé's own father. The streets were buzzing, because word on the block was that tensions had been brewing for a while. Now, Kelly never threw any shade publicly. But baby, it was crystal clear she was done playing the sidekick. She was ready to take charge of her own destiny. And honestly, after spending all those years under Matthew's management, it was long overdue. The gossip mill went into overdrive, speculating whether there was bad blood. But Kelly? Oh, she kept it cute, classy, and completely unbothered, choosing to stay silent and focus on the next big move in her career. She wasn't about to let anybody hold her back, especially not when she was already proving she could win all on her own. Oh baby, now let's get into some real daddy drama. Because trust, this chapter of Kelly's life, it's a full-blown roller coaster. She spent most of her childhood without her father in the picture. And that absence? Oh, it weighed heavy on her heart for years. It left her with deep-rooted trust issues that followed her straight into adulthood. That probably has everything to do with trust, right? Because hearing you open up about those daddy issues and abandonment struggles, it's like, whew. But hold on now. If you thought that was the end of the tea, oh baby, we're just getting started. Fast forward to Kelly as a grown woman, married, and a mama herself. That's when she decided it was finally time to confront the past. After spending all those years without him in her life, Kelly finally decided it was time to see if there was even a chance at some kind of reconciliation. Was she nervous? Oh, absolutely. Who wouldn't be? But she was done running from the past. She needed answers, and she wasn't about to back down now. So what does she do? She tracks him down, sets up a meeting, and rolls up with a 23andMe kit in hand, just in case there was any doubt about their biological connection. Oh, she was not playing. As a grown woman, what made you finally decide to do this? What was the trigger? Did something specific happen? Or was it just kids? Well, kids. And you're gonna think this is crazy. Never. I really wanted him to swab the inside of his cheek so I could get that 23andMe done. I care about my ancestry. I wanted to know where we come from, what our background is. You know what I mean? That kind of thing means a lot to me. But more than that, I just kept thinking, if not now, then when? If he says yes, great. If he says no, well, great. I had already made peace with whatever the outcome would be. But did you ever think he might say no? You just never know. But listen, this wasn't some picture-perfect, heartwarming father-daughter reunion. Nah, Kelly came in with real questions and was ready for closure, even if it wasn't gonna be pretty. And when they finally came face to face, oh, emotions were all over the place. Anger, relief, confusion, and, surprisingly, understanding. Seeing him after all those years of pain and unanswered questions, that was no joke. But as they started peeling back the layers, Kelly began to realize just how much his PTSD had affected his life, and in turn, their fractured relationship. I remember thinking, what if he doesn't respond? So that actually crossed your mind. I had never even considered that before. But yeah, as I was walking toward him, my feet got heavy. I mean, he showed up, but even then, I had so much I wanted to say. I was ready to go in on this man. Where were you? Why didn't you ever try? Do you even realize what you put me through? I had it all lined up in my head, ready to unleash. So you had anger. Oh, I had anger. But the moment I walked in and saw his face, saw how much older he looked, saw time, something inside me just said, be quiet. And I listened. I didn't say a word. I let this man talk for 2 hours. 2 whole hours, he poured out everything he needed to say. And even then, he just kept going. And as he spoke, certain things he told me started filling in the gaps of stories my mom had told me over the years. You know what I mean? Like, some things finally clicked. But then there were still parts that didn't quite add up. So I had to ask, why didn't you try harder to find me? And the truth is, he did. But during all those years I was so mad at him, I had also built up walls. Like, when Destiny's Child was on tour, I made sure to have meetings with security. I told them, if a man comes up to me,